At least we got at least breaking the weather to do this.
Oh, no.
We had a couple clients over that January stretch where it was 3 degrees, but we still had to go out.
Oh my God, that was like -10.
Yeah, that was.
This feels like summer today. This is unbelievable.
It feels great.
Yeah, this is awesome.
One of the things that I usually do is I usually have the dog on my right side. You'll hear a lot of things that will say you have to do the dog to your left.
Sue's had him out, well, not so much for a big walk. She's done something like this down to the end of the street.
Okay.
And he does seem to be okay. It's when people start coming nearby.
Right.
That's the thing we've got to really...
Well, the point that he was trying to emphasize, and this is the biggest problem why people have the problems that they do, is that you go anywhere, the standard sight of a person walking a dog, it's a dog out in front, usually either pulling the person along or definitely in tight. What people don't understand is that dogs, while domesticated, are still pack animals. So the one who's out in front is the one who's like more or less the leader.
Yes.
By letting them be out there, they feel that way. Now, the reason why he keeps.
One of the things about the walk is that if I know the dog has eliminated and he's pulling toward to eliminate, I let him eliminate. If he doesn't, then I don't let him stop and sniff everything. One of the things that we already know about dogs is that they can smell everything. He smells everything already without him having to stop and sniff. So the walk doesn't do me any good if I'm stopping every 5 minutes, letting this dog sniff something, okay? The idea is that we're gonna walk to a place or do a survey, come back to the house, and then he can get, some free time. But the walk is really about him still understanding that he can't lead this walk, that he's following me the whole time, and that the only time he gets to stop and to pull toward anything is to eliminate. He can either pee or poop right there, and when he does, we say go pee, and when he poops, we go poop, and we do that over and over again. Believe it or not, you can actually encourage the dog even when you're on vacation. If you stop, you just say go poop, I can have him go poop on demand, just like that. If I start doing that over and over again, he starts hearing that.
Should we get poopy bags or?
We have some.
Do you have some on you? Because I'm not.
Yeah, I got some.
All right, perfect.
So one of the things that he's doing already really nicely right now, his ears are back, he's paying attention.
Yeah, he's not pulling away.
Right.
He's not trying to take you for a walk.
Exactly. And you'd be amazed that most of the time, a lot of these dogs, especially like this, they're just looking for some structure. You'd be amazed at what happens when they fall into place, when they're just looking for someone to show them what they need.
Yeah. I think where we come from, Waltham, just so built up over there. I'm not sure what the previous owners did for walks, but...
Well, that's what the last 2 clients we've had in the previous weeks, their environment's similar like this. I mean, you at least have some trails and sidewalks, but their entire neighborhood is basically this. There's no sidewalks, there's no place to go, there's no parks, there's no open areas. And what with the snowstorm, you had snowdrifts right into the snow where you are, so they weren't walking them at all. It's like...
Well, once the weather breaks, and it looks like it's starting to now, Sue she'll be out with them all the time. And the nights are getting lighter, so she'll take them when she comes home from work.
And the whole point too, if the walks are like this, you're going to find yourself going out longer because it feels more like a relaxing thing to do, and not like a chore, like you said, being pulled around, especially with someone who has a bad rotator cuff.
Oh, I won't even walk him, Tom. No. I won't walk him.
All right.
Let's go home. Let's go home. Yeah, I'm just doing a quick pause like this to the side. Hey.
Yeah.
Like that. And then once he gives me what I want, I just let him relax. That you and the lead right there. So literally right now, he's off leash. I didn't let him nose over that way.
It'd be nice if there was some other people walking towards us.
Right.
Just as a test.
Well, yeah, that's the other attitude you have to adopt when we say that. Like, you guys have already had, unfortunately, a little bit of emotional scarring in that you've seen some bad incidents. So in most cases, a lot of people tend to avoid those situations going forward. But now you're going to want to seek them out. You're going to want to put yourself into them. Like, avoidance will never, ever fix things. It just makes it worse when they do come across it. Oh, here comes a dog. Yeah.
Now, it's a different story if this dog was out in front of us and that dog comes down.
Yes.
He gets a different.
Because if he thinks he's in charge, like, oh, it's on me to deal with this.
Right.
If he knows that you've got it, then he can continue to follow. It's not his responsibility to address.
Hey, Mark.
Hey.
No, they have a big dog. They have, well, a big lab.
Whoop, watch out. Well, spring of last year, we had a 2-week board and train with 2 full-grown Great Danes, so
Wow.
that was a lot of dog.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go up the street. We call this our compass walk. We go out, back to the house. We go out, back to the house. We go out that way, back to the house. This compass walk usually lasts a lot longer. When we do it with the dog, we're showing you a piece of it. The reason why we do this is we're basically showing the dog his territory. So that now I can let this dog loose without fear of him running someplace. I just showed him everything.
Right.
And he's followed me around the whole time looking. So now, usually what happens, so say we went that way all the time,
Yeah.
and that way, dog gets loose. You know where he's going to go?
Go on.
He's going that way.
Okay.
You understand?
Right.
Because
I think I do.
he wants to know what's there. You've already showed him all that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
He's peed there, smelled there.
Yeah, now I
But
get
now
it.
he comes up and goes, in his compass, in his mind, he wants to know what's that way.
Yeah, right.
You didn't show it to him,
Right.
but he wants to know.
Yeah.
Okay? So now we go that way. Come.
And that you even have this sidewalk is a huge plus.
Yes, yeah.
Really well on the street, I can tell you that. Good. Really nice. Really nice. Hey. So
And that-
I'm not letting him use his nose right now. I'm not letting him sniff. The whole purpose of this walk is for him to just follow me.
This is a good test with the kids.
You said he'd lunge at them?
He might bark, he might want to go to them, yeah. We'll see.
Well, I'm going to walk after him. So you see, this is what I'm talking about. So what we would do is we would immediately move this direction.
Yeah.
How you doing? Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, guys. Hi.
What's it?
Well, I think she's good. She's lucky.
That's my mom.
Well, it's a good day for playing.
It is. It's a great day to play out in the snow.
Thank you guys very much. Enjoy your day.
That's a good place. Right away. Yeah, look. And so say we go up to those people and this dog is out in front of us, even slightly. We get the idea that this is, maybe even poses a threat, that this is something that he should be worried about. So we walk up there with him following us. It's a whole different story. He's got a whole different thing going on in his head right now. So what's really nice about what he's doing right here, this dog is off leash right now.
Yeah, he's not pulling at all.
Not at all. This dog is off leash right now.
So I think he's doing good. I mean,
This is the perfect example of why I know that to do all the right things, it just takes quite a bit of time. Yes,
his paws get very cold.
His paws? You worried about his paws or you? Okay, all right, stop. Hold on.
Thank you first off. No, thank you. This is good. This is good.
The reason why is because I've had to carry a dog up, and Tim told me, and he limps because of the pain on his paws.
This one?
Yes,
Yeah, he
that's-
suffers with
I
the ice or
took him out
something on
last
his paws.
Saturday, and it was cold, and I ended up bringing him back early because he was limping with the pain. You know, I think it was so
Well, sometimes
cold.
it's just, sometimes you'll get a piece of ice caught up in there, and that's all it takes. I mean, but this dog should be able to walk all over this ice all day long without any problem. This is the type of dog that's got fur in between his paws.
Right.
So,
Oops.
so you're
Well,
actually,
hey, but-
you're actually enabling something that's not even there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
him going like this and maybe limping a little bit, every once in a while they get a piece of salt or a piece of rock in their paw. We just go in there,
Yeah.
take that out,
Okay.
and we continue moving forward.
That's a new one, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, on a dog. Good boy. Yeah, I mean, I would be all over this snow, and unless you know, if you're worried about yourself, that's a different story. But the dog, never. Strong enough pull for me, so I'm going to keep moving.
Well, think about it. If you felt like you were in charge of every single thing that ever happened all the time for as long as you may have felt that way, then all of a sudden someone came along and said like, hey, you can just sit back and relax. I got this.
Yeah.
You'd feel a huge weight off your shoulder too.
Yeah, because you're taking the weight on his shoulder.
Exactly. Like, hey, I just needed a leader. Just needed someone to tell me what to do.
So if you once they smell and go for a food, and if he doesn't do it right away, you just keep him going.
Keep going.
You give him a chance to
I'll
do
give
that.
him a chance and he'll give me the right tug, and you'll start to recognize that, what the right tug is to go pee and go poop. But then right after that, especially if he's eliminated, I don't stop at all. He can't stop and smell, because believe it or not, it's just like a lot of people feel guilty and think, oh, you know, my dog has been inside all day, I'm going to let him smell everything. That looks like one to pee. There we go. I felt that.
Yes. Yeah.
Good boy. Go pee. Go. Hey. So that was a different, you know, I
Yeah,
could
you
feel
could
like
sense
that
it.
was the tug that said, hey, I really have to go right now. I got to go pee. The other thing is we don't let him do it on the walk. I don't let him up on any grass. I try not to. I don't let him on people's lawns. I try not to let him poop or pee on people's lawns if I can. I try to use this little spot right there.
No, because it's respectful of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And I wouldn't want some dog peeing.
There you go. And so one of the things that we is that I don't want him to get used to on the walk doing anything but following me, so I'm going to not even let him go up on that stuff. All right. Hello. Every day, 3 times a day. Every day, 3 times a day, on the walk. Then we let him go on the long lead, put some run. If this happens, morning, noon, and night. Morning, noon, and night. And what's nice, I mean, we wouldn't have to do much more than what we're doing right now. So we go up, come back to the house, and then we're going to go up. I'm going to lead over to you. He's already doing amazing.
Yeah.
Flip the loop around
Okay.
so that now it's pulling from the top of him, just like that. Good boy.
Only reason why is because people come down here and it's
Yeah,
dangerous. So
yeah,
that would
yeah.
be that's a good
Yeah,
thing.
and so what I would do normally, if I'm walking back up the street, I would cross go up on the sidewalk to come back home
Yeah.
if I'm keeping him on my right side.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
And you'd be the same, so you're right-handed, you just keep them on the right.
Now, immediately what happens, most people will do this. Immediately most people do this. So you just did this, and the first thing she did, she just shored that leash up and put tension on that leash. So what we're looking for, what we're looking for, hey, is that once I get this leash in my hand, I want this to happen.
Yeah.
So he's already, you know, so I'm able to still correct,
Yeah.
but I don't want to pull up to this. See, I don't want to pull up to that.
I think it
Because
was
already he just got the signal,
Yeah.
this is tension,
nice. Yeah. So just do it again for our
Okay.
Thank you.
just like that. So let's walk for a minute. Let's walk for a minute. Watch this. So he's already doing really nice off my verbal cue and not even the physical cue. See, I'm holding it just like this. It's that keeps on coming in. Hey, good boy. Yeah, I want it to be comfortable in your hands. I hold it like this. Like this. But as long as you're giving him, the slack. Hey. Okay. Okay, stop for a second. So this is the most natural thing that people do, is they wind up doing this. She just put that in her hand, and her correction was behind her. See that? You were doing this, you were pulling behind. My correction is out in front and to the side. So I'm walking like this, walking like this. I don't want to pull behind because it's going to promote him to move forward. It's like a rubber band effect. What I'm doing is I'm just giving him this, I'm giving him that. I'm giving him this, like that. So when I'm doing the correction, I'm doing the correction like this. Hey, see that? Yeah. See that look that he gave me? So if I go back again, and slow up, good boy, slow. Oh, absolutely. That's visible. It's definitely pretty well. See that? So you got out in front of me, I reach out in the direction, and then pull the leash right back to that side like that, and he stays right in my face. That's beautiful. That is really nice. Beautiful.
He's looking for you. He's like, where's my buddy gone?
Try not to overcorrect, and when you give a correction at first, give a verbal also. You can say, hey, or with me. He's right in this beautiful cut right there. That'd be right.
I think he's good like this. It's just that he's got that aggression out of him, the fear of what's ever been built into him.
Yeah, but it all starts with your training in the house and all the stuff that you're going to do to let him know that he doesn't have to be on point by anything. You know, that fear aggression comes from him not understanding what his role is.
I just don't know why the folks who have him just didn't spend some time on him.
I've been telling Vicky this all the time. The foster people that she uses don't know enough about dog training to really do anything well for the dog.
Nope, keep going, keep moving.
You know, so they're doing a lot of
And no matter what,
things anyway.
always moving.
And unfortunately, you get a dog that's just not, you know, mentally not stable.
Well, relax your right arm a little bit. There you go.
Well, let's have a look. We've had this for like 7 years. Or until the kids came along, he was the number one guy. He was the baby of the family. And I guess the folks like the little kids who were like 2, 3 or 4 years old. He was doing like 2 weeks ago and come up. And now he's trying to be shoved out.
All right, car coming.
Yeah, but the dog should never, you know, it's like that thing, the dog, you know, you always be the lowest on the totem pole. You know, so if you're not letting the kids do all the right training with them and walking with them, you know. The kids going out, you let them know that. Exactly. They're all part of the family. Exactly. Just ain't sitting in the room and even more organized.
Relax your arm.
Get that out of him. I think he's great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, all the dogs, you know, there's a little bit dog inside of them. You know, and he's showing it to me already with just the look that he gives, the response that he's getting on the leash. All he's telling me, all he needs is correction. All he needs is
That looks like a comfortable walk.
Here I see them. For any dog we get, just a lot of hiking. Goes up to New Hampshire, wherever, all around Massachusetts, 15-mile hikes.
Yeah.
She wants to take him
Yeah.
a dog with her.
Yeah.
And he's strong enough to go.
Oh, easily. This dog could go all day. And like I said, you can't walk far enough.
Keep going.
Dog, you couldn't. You couldn't walk far enough.
Right.
See, that was great.
Yeah, that's
That was great.
How'd that feel for you?
very good. Very good.
That was great.
Very, very good. Good
Yeah.
boy. Can I pet him now?
Now you can.
Good boy.
See?
Good job. Good boy. Good job, big guy.
And the more, see, Sue's going to be like the owner. I'm just the guy in the background. And the more she does this with him, I think the more he'll come around to her.
Yes.
At the moment.
Yes, she will.
It's all like this with
Yeah, yeah.
me.
Well, he's going to, what do we say that? He's going toward the weaker energy. So they're always going to avoid the stronger energy in the house. My dog goes to all weak energy because he's like, that guy, man. All right, come on. So,
Yeah.
but he's still going to want to, if I ask him to come to me, he comes to me willingly. At the end of the day, my dog still curls up next to me. But garnering that respect at first, and what's going to happen is pretty soon, you're going to have the same role. You're going to start going, in the house, hey, put your hands on that leash, give him the correction the right way. He's going to go, oh, this guy means business too.
As well, yeah.
Yeah, he means business too.
Sit.
I'm just thinking.
So don't
No,
do the
that's-
sit yet. Don't
No,
do the
no,
sit
no.
yet. In fact, you said it already too many times.
7.
So she said it 7 times.
Did I? Oh, shoot.
So if
People
you wanted him
will
to
see.
sit
People
right
don't even
now
realize that
without-
they're doing it.
If you want him to sit right now without having him, without saying it, what I would do is I just stop. I go, hey, hey. Oh, there we go. We got a little.
He will sit. What was it? He has
Yeah.
a command, doesn't he?
Hey. Good boy. But I don't want to physically start doing the sit, and in fact, we don't even do sit.
Okay.
The fact is that this dog has probably heard sit 100 million times already in his life.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody's told him sit, 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 sit.
And he
probably
does. Yes,
yeah,
he
probably
has
about
done.
7, 8 times too, like you did. So what we usually do is we tell people when we start our obedience training, we start with a down stay. We start with a down, not a sit. Okay, the sit comes later. The sit we can do later. But we always start with, let's go to these people right here.
I think Tim had him doing that down
Yeah.
with the palm of his hand, something like this.
Yeah, we do a down stay, we don't do any sit, okay, and we do a down, and we do a down stay, because we actually want that dog to actually start staying for us.
Car coming.
So remember that the idea is that you're going to try to get those weights to hang as loose as possible in sort of a in the file. So he's a little ahead of you right now. You see that there's a little too much tension on that leash. Yep. There we go. So here's what we want to do. So when I'm doing the correction, in fact, the most natural thing that all people do is to start to pull back on the dog. What we want to do is if the dog starts to get ahead of us, we're walking real slow right now. He already knows. Because this guy that's got the leash right now, he knows what he's doing. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. So what happens is, you see the slack that I'm giving him?
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere.
Right, he's
If he
not.
does get ahead of me, what I'm doing is I'm going to go like this. He won't get ahead of me for me. Good boy. Sorry about that.
Right. Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like
Good boy.
what you've been conditioned to so far is think of it laterally. Everything is forward and backward, forward and backwards. You're either pulling back or they're pulling you. What you want to do with the correction is, like he says, like you're giving them like a snap to the left.
Yes.
Like dogs are on a
Yeah.
north-south. You're giving them an east-west. It breaks them off that line. So if you're pulling behind you, if you're pulling like that, that's not what you want to do. You want them just to be like just a little snap to the side, almost like a little jab. Like, oh, hey,
Okay, it gets him out of that. Whatever he's in.
Yeah, it's like a finger snap for your neck. It's like, hey, whatever, yeah, exactly. Whatever he's in, you're letting him know, no, your attention is still over here to me. Oh, he's incredibly receptive.
Yeah,
Beautiful dog.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. There's a dog right there that I know.
Try not to pull back. You're gonna pull. You're gonna do the correction across to the side. Yeah. Try not to pull your hand back toward your butt. Relax your hand, just like you're walking. Relax. Give him more lead. More lead. Let that lead out. Yes. There you go. Now, see if you can slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Just keep walking. Slow down. Yep. Slow. 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 Yep. As slow as you want. Don't pull the lead up. So you see that tension right there? So really what we're trying to do is we're trying to eliminate this.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Now
We're trying
I
to
understand.
eliminate that.
You want, yes.
See
Yeah.
that?
You don't want tension on it if possible.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah. So if he gets ahead of me, I go, hey.
And then go
Like
like
that?
that.
Right.
But you can be firm saying that too.
Oh, yeah. Because really what we're trying to do, what this equipment does is utilize the instincts that the dog already has, since they are genetically over 90% still gray wolf.
Right.
And like you said in the wild, you always see the mom, they always go for the neck. The neck is the main point of like communication and control for establishing who's in charge here.
Yep.
So what that thing does is that, yeah, with the thing stitched up on him, it lets him know that someone nearby, with a nice relaxing tension in it, lets him know that there's no command. If you had like a direct line that was constantly pulling, he'd think something was wrong all the time. What you're trying to do is wait until that time is necessary. There's the signal.
I just can't hear his tail in between his legs.
So he's actually on a leash. He's on a. I know he's on a.
He's on a barrier.
On a barrier. So he's not going past that. But the nice thing is, I don't really need that with my dogs.
Right.
My dog already knows what his barrier is. The nice thing is that this dog sees a dog off leash, is not paying any attention to him.
Yeah, right.
He's not paying any attention to him.
Yeah.
See that? And this dog is not giving any signal because this dog isn't giving any signal either.
Right.
So
Got
he's
it.
not going la 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 la,
Yeah,
and he doesn't have to go la 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 la.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Yes.
So we walked up nice and easy. Him following us. This dog gets the idea. Hey, that dog's already got somebody leading them.
Yeah, right.
You see?
Yeah.
Come, come.
He does.
I think we just need someone to show them the right way.
Exactly.
And I don't think anyone has for the last 6 years or 7 years.
You're right. And yet, look how quickly he changed. Yeah. See how quickly he changed? Just like that. Beautiful thing about those things don't do that. Yep, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that is a start, but I mean, you know, sometimes dogs, you know, they're opportunists, they know where their bread's being buttered anyway. You know, so it would do him no good to actually retaliate against you, but then once he's in your house, he thinks, oh, my job is to keep other people out.
Yeah,
You know, my job is to,
that's it.
you know, to keep people off this, you know, I'm not allowed on this, I got to keep other people off this couch, even, you know.
He's still going to bark though when the postman comes by.
No, he doesn't have to.
You know?
Absolutely
Because,
not.
I thought
Look,
that was like,
you see
Yeah.
what that says?
yeah.
We mean that. And so if you're doing all the right things, our dog stops barking. In fact, a lot of times if we're doing all the right things, the walk's right, the exercise, he's too exhausted. He doesn't care about barking. It happens without you even noticing it. But if it does, all I have to do is address it inside. I'd say, he barks one time, I go, hey, boom, I don't want that.
Yeah, right.
And I own the window, I say, move away from the window, and I own the window.
You just be the dominant.
Yeah,
You're
and I
the
own the
dominant
window.
dog in the house,
Yes,
basically.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, and so if you're putting up with the noise, he's saying, by default, you're saying, I agree with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
see, that's what we...
See, we've been, at the moment, we've just been letting him get away with that for 2 weeks because we really needed someone like yourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you didn't know what to do. That's the thing. I mean,
Well, I could have given him a crack, but I don't know. I don't want to do that until now. I know. Not that I'm going to start crack. I just want
Right.
to know that we can chastise him.
right, but a wrong correction given the wrong way makes your situation even worse.
Right.
And unfortunately, people don't give you enough information going. Like you basically are frozen. Like you can't do anything because you don't know, and you can't leave it because you don't want to live like that. That constant barking all the time. Like you said, you haven't had guests in 2
We don't,
weeks.
because we have no kids, which is great. That's why we took him.
Well,
But we do have people come to the house. We have
Right.
friends, and we have kids come at Easter. We don't want situations.
well, even the mailman or the
Yeah.
garbage guy will come by and stop and.
So what does he
they'll
do
be
to sit, Alan? What did Tim show you how he sits?
I think it was more like either a fist, and he had this other action where he said like this was to touch. It was more like a trick thing, I guess. It was more like do touch, and he'd come up and hit him with his nose.
Yeah, that's some snake oil salesman dog training
Yeah.
right there. Like every dog can sit. It's not impressive to do that.
And he
but-
was either sit with his fist
That's a
or,
false
or
positive.
doing this,
Yeah.
and he
Well-
showed us a couple of things, but we're not big on tricks or sit.
No.
Just
Yeah.
mainly for his food. I don't want him running into the food. I just want them to know that. Now I don't know what your idea is of when we feed them.
Oh, Tom said he's going to go over that.
Yeah, we're going to go with
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
'Cause at the moment we're just making the two dogs. Well, we
So you
usually
see
make
what
them
I'm
sit.
doing right now, I'm just physically putting him into a sit position. I'm not saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just letting him know that while we're standing here, he can't move. And I'm doing that with no tension. As soon as he gives me what I want, I give him nothing but that.
Yeah.
Hey. No, I give him that again. See that?
Yes. Yeah. He's off lead basically.
He really is.
Yeah.
He really is.
And there's a lot of tension there, so...
And again, back to what you're saying, once we go into the house, that's the point of leaving the necktie on, why you can disconnect the walking part. Because now if something goes wrong, you don't actually have to get physically on him. You have a little bit of a tether out
Yeah,
there.
you
And
just
even
get
if you
both
feel more
ends.
comfortable starting, you can leave the whole thing on. Like however
And
much
in fact,
length you
I
have
would
on there,
recommend that you do that.
Leave the whole thing on.
Yeah.
that way you can get to him without actually having to get
Right.
to him, and you immediately have control before you start doing anything.
Yeah. You
good
can
to
put
know
some
then.
choke
Right.
on him.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of things people do. I mean, you're going to have to be reactive from time to time, which where you might have to come in. But if you can be proactive about it, then you won't even get to those positions. Recognizing a situation before it develops and addressing it properly,
Yep.
you shouldn't even have to.
Hey,
But it'll take time.
Yep.
good boy. All right, so we've done our compass walk. What I'm going to recommend is that when we leave today, you're going to do a little bit more of the same. You're going to take this dog out. We're going to give you a new lead that's going to fit him. Compass walk, back up the street, back to the house, back up the street that way. You can go up that way. We didn't go up that
Yeah.
way. You can go up that way, come
Yeah.
back to the house. Hey, hey. So all I'm letting him know is that I just don't want him to move while we're standing here.
Yes.
That he just can't sit up. And I'm prepared to keep doing that as many times without getting frustrated with him, without getting angry. I'm going to give him a little correction at the end of maybe each one to let him know that, hey, that's what I want. And then I give him nothing but this. I give him nothing but slack. So most people do this and they put their dog down and they sit and they're still holding on to the dog and this tension, and all that dog is just waiting for that tension to release and they're gone. You know? So now he's just sitting there, he's working this all on his own
Yeah,
right now.
right.
See that?
So every time he gets up, you are making him sit again.
Yeah, for right now, because
Yeah.
this is all I'm asking him. And so he's going to get used to when we walk up to people and we have conversations. We walked up to people, to
Yeah,
neighbors.
right, yeah.
When we stop, he's just going to sit down and he's
Yeah.
going to wait for me to
Right.
stop finishing my conversation, and then we leave.
See, that's brilliant.
And then we leave.
Yeah. So maybe going into Lowe's, Vicky said maybe would have been too soon for him.
Well,
Maybe
too soon for you guys.
She thought
Too soon for you guys.
Felt bad then, because that's what she thought would be a good thing to do.
Yeah. Too soon for you
Yeah,
guys,
'cause
and
we
too soon
just-
for
and I
not
think-
using the right equipment.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
We
but
didn't-
I would bring the dog into Lowe's the second day myself.
Right.
You know,
Well,
but
that's what she.
but right
thought
now you could bring him
was right.
anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I could bring him
Yes.
anywhere like this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We bring him on the tee. Like I said, when we were lived in Quincy, the second day we got a dog, we bring him right on the tee. We'd have a board and train. We'd bring him right on the tee with all these people. Boom, the dog would sit right there. And people went, oh my God, my dog would never do that.
I mean, he just looks so.
I think, Tom, I think just knocking that like sense into him in the house, that barking, no one's ever done that to him.
No, never.
I don't think so.
No.
And
Well, a lot of times too, especially with dogs.
Like, I'm the boss here. Who the hell do you think you are?
Right.
And it's like that just really seems to put him in his place.
Yeah.
Because that shows a prime example of why so many dogs like this end up in this situation. Is that especially from a rescue situation, most people are like, well, I can't correct him. He's been through so much. This poor thing. I can't possibly do it.
They feel bad.
Exactly.
Like hitting the dog.
I guess
he's had so much stress, and I don't want to do that.
But then they even think they misconstrue it. I mean, it is physical time, but it's not hitting. It's not assaulting. It's a correction. It's a physical communication.
Yeah, right. Animals don't understand your sympathy and your pity.
No.
They don't understand that. What they do understand is your physical touch, because that's their animal instinct that you're speaking to.
So what do you do on the side of him?
I gave him like a touch. One of the primary 2 touches is in the rib cage right here, right behind, right there, and then right in the groin right there.
Wow.
I touch him right there and right there. Those are 2 spots. Or I give him a physical correction with this. Boom. That's a physical correction.
Right.
Okay.
And it's meant to be quick, just a little snap. Same thing with the fin one. If you know, it's great for if he's getting out in front of you and feel confident, rather than always pulling. Just give him a snap in the
Here's
spot.
what would happen if we come home from. We just got him home from the shelter. We did our compass walk. Okay, we wouldn't take him inside right away, which is what the thing most people do. They bring their dogs home. They take them inside. They let the dog loose. Okay. Not good.
That's what we did.
Yeah, not good. So
because who told you? Who would have told you?
Yeah, and actually, this is all these things that we're going to try to get out there so that shelters can actually give out some better information on how to acclimate your dog to your situation in those first 5 days, so that you don't have these problems. Okay, so we're going to go inside now. We're going to go inside.
Yep.
You come home.
We have a bed for him, so we should make him, because I don't want him on the sofa. We just want to put him there.
Okay.
On the sofa.
No.
So long.
He's the terrier, you know. He's got that in him.
And sometimes you just gotta let him be the dog.
Yeah, that's what he wants to do. He's basically like a hunter.
Oh, hey, see?
Yeah.
Come on. So a lot of times what we'll do is right now I can even drop this because he's not going, and you can see how he's kicking around.
Yep.
Look at this guy.
Yeah. Like Little John. Up in the woods. Yeah.
Excellent reference.
Yeah.
Guess he'd be Friar Tuck. Oh, this is a nice little pack you guys have here.
Yeah, the fish here and everything.
Oh, nice.
Fishing, you know?
Is that where you caught the fish that's on your wall?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And depending on the area, it can be a little bit maintenance-y.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is what all this is. This is like from thinning out.
So do you just keep this leash on him?
Well, I'm keeping this leash on him right now so that in the woods, you know, like he understands. So we'll walk back around this way. Watch, he can follow us.
Yep, just keep moving. Yep. Yep, keep walking up. I'll guard that. Go pee, go pee, go pee, go pee. Good boy.
Go back up into the yard. Okay. No, leave that. I don't know what that is.
Suet.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
That's what we feed the birds with too.
Right.
You're going to find out that one of the things too is this sort of pack walk. If you guys go out together, that you're probably not going to stay too far away from you. So now you can put the feet up. And after you do that, yep, see that? You're coming over this way. Look at that.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to show them a little border training. Hey, board. So you're going to show them a little border. Show them that I wanted to come up to here.
Susan, I can make copies of this if we come back, if you don't mind. Like we can just USB.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we just have to use your computer, but okay.
That's the fence line here. You know, the electric fence.
Yeah, I just showed him that. I just said, I came up to here, I showed him this. No. Just pull back and give him a quick no, and then we come back to the yard.
Now we have flags. Flags out.
You can if you want. I mean, to give him a visual. To give him a visual. Yeah, but I mean, dogs, believe it or not, he'll know that line right there when you're driving. That crack. Well, you can show it to him. Yeah. Yeah. And that's okay. I mean, you know, if he gravitates towards somebody,
That's good.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And then what you can do is have him do like you can even start your recall with that. So you can start doing this. So Alan, go down to the corner of the yard right there. Follow. Oh, Tyson, come. Tyson, come.
Watch your foot.
Come.
See, that's brilliant. I mean, I'm so up for this because we're so outdoor people.
Yeah, that's the biggest
We're
thing.
not even indoor people. I mean, we
That's-
just are so outdoors.
That is as huge for the human as it is for the dog who's willing to listen.
Yeah, I mean,
If you're already going out like that,
hike with him. I mean, we wanted to his family.
exactly. And if you can do it like this, you're actually going to want to do that. You won't be.
Exactly.
You can't wait to go out and hike on a dog if you just know that they're going to run around the trail.
Yeah.
And eventually,
That's what's really scared me. Lowe's did me a number.
and that's going to be hard too because
Even this.
I mean, I
right
was
here is
really
enough.
thinking of
Oh,
giving him
so
up last week. Called Vicky, and we nearly gave him up
there to there.
because
That's going to tell
yeah,
you
that
too.
just did a number on. So
but that's the thing, you have to be able that yes, that happened, but it hasn't
Get over
doesn't
it.
have to well, it doesn't have to be so harsh like that either, but no, that's in the past.
Yeah.
All you have is a future going
Yeah.
forward now, and just
Yeah.
because it did happen, there's no reason to think that it has to continue happening. You have to believe that you've done the right thing, you've
Yeah.
taken the right steps.
Yeah.
You know yourself to be a good owner, and they will follow suit as well.
Yeah, you think so? Yeah, he wants to hang out with us.
Yeah.
Just stick around dog.
Yeah. So can I just ask you, how would you, like, we've got family and kids coming at Easter. How do you approach when everyone's coming and just, would you have him on the lead or how?
Yes. Well, that's the thing. So, the indoor lead is never going to come off of him for a while.
Okay.
That's months and months
Oh,
of
right.
indoor lead on him. You're going to always be able to get hold of him, be able to correct him with that
Yes.
indoor lead.
Yeah.
That the one we're going to make for you is going to be a little shorter than that because we don't want it to drag on the ground. It's going to be a little shorter. We'll custom make the one for you. The idea is that when someone comes over, he can't greet them first.
Right.
He can't.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
And so you're going to start to, hey, somebody comes over, Tyson, boom. Go through the bit, okay? Hey, you have to adjust it again, down, okay? Boom. Oh, he gets up again, correction, boom. Now we answer the door. People come in, hey, how you doing? Da da da. Now, what you do want to instruct people to do is, this is sort of a Cesar Millan thing too that I kind of agree with. The no touch, no talk, no eye contact.
Yes.
So they come in and just let the dog sniff them.
Yeah.
Don't pay attention. Tell them don't pay attention to the dog. Don't reach down and try to pet the dog first right away. Just let the dog be. Let the dog sniff. Let the dog get used to people coming in and out. If you can, before Easter comes, here's what I suggest you do. When is Easter, by the way?
It's in about
Probably beginning of April or late.
Yeah,
end
it's
of March.
months. You got months.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have two.
So what I would suggest is some practice rounds. Bring some people over.
Yeah.
If you know the neighbor's kids, bring
Yeah.
the kids by. If you have any other people that you can bring by,
Yeah.
to test.